All right, great. All right, well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our second week of our four-call series here in the month of December 2013. And I'm so excited to be here on the call because I know that a lot of you guys, definitely have been taking advantage of these call series. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is our third call series. The first call series was Sorry, I just muted the lines. The first call was all about leadership and what does it mean, and we talked the first series, which good morning, Karla. The first 6 calls was all about really being more self-aware and having a lot of self-awareness as far as who are you, what are your thoughts, what's going on in your mind, and really becoming like I guess the best way that I could possibly describe it is to really start self-analyzing oneself. And the reason why we really spend a lot of time with that was because in order to become a better leader, one must first be able to lead oneself. And many times we want to, point the finger and say, you want your team to do this or your employees to do that or your family to do that. But really, nobody will ever follow somebody who can lead themselves, at least not for a long period of time. So the first call series was all about what does that look like? What do you need to do? What disciplines must you take place? And, really it was about, and I think a lot of people got a lot out of the calls talking about something as simple as making your bed every single day. Start your way of having those small disciplines that can, small disciplines that can change your life in a big way. So for those of you who, perhaps missed those calls, I'm giving you a little bit of a background so you understand why we're talking about this today. The second call series was more about the context of leadership. So now that we know who we are, that we're trying to figure out who we are, when we're becoming more self-aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, the second call series was more about the context of leadership. We talked about the 5 levels of leadership with John Maxwell. We talked about what does it really take to be an authentic leader with integrity and of influence. Okay, so having said all of that, right, that's all fine and dandy because the whole 2 call series was all about the rise and fall. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything. If you want something to alter, leadership must appear. Right? If you want something to change, leadership must be present. And sometimes we think that, okay, well, I'm not a leader because I don't have a big group. But here's the thing, and I love it. I think it was Jim Rohn that said, you can't. The universe will not give you 20 people to lead if you can't even lead one. So we got to start with small baby steps. So that was all the first 2 call series. I haven't heard back. Well, actually, they did get back to me, but now it's just a matter of they haven't heard back as far as how to be able to email all the links. So I'm thinking about maybe uploading them up to a website or something like that for you guys to be able to go back and actually be able to listen to them because every single call series was recorded. So that's where we're at today. Now, rather than starting a 3rd call series, what we decided to do was start just 4 weeks of a call series, and it's all about the attention around this amazing book, which I highly recommend that you guys get it, and that is by, I have to think about it in English because I have it in Spanish. It is called Ask and It Is Given, and I'll give you guys a link for you guys to be able to download it for free, and it's also an audio at the end of the call. So anyhow, so that's where we're at today. We're taking the book principles of this book and talking about what does it take to really start now manifesting what you want. We're coming towards the end of the year. People start thinking about what do I want for 2014? And then, you can do one of 2 things. You can start beating yourself up for everything you didn't do. You can start celebrating for everything that you did do, or you can do a little bit of both. And what we want to do with these 4 call series is to really get present so that we don't repeat certain actions that didn't serve us for 2013. And that we start having, now that you have had practice for 12 weeks of what does it take to be mindful and to be conscious of your thoughts, what is that going to look like for 2014 in order to start bringing forth what it is that you want to attract. And I got to tell you guys, I have this really big treat for you guys next week's call because I'm actually going to be going to Vegas this weekend, and I'm going to be with this transformational, guru, actually 3 of them. One of them is a woman named Karen Hoyos, and another one is, I forgot the other guy's name, but I'm going to be able to bring back a bunch of stuff for you guys next week. So this is really great. As long as you guys start practicing these small principles, come 2014, you're going to be better equipped than if you don't practice them. So last week's call was all about gratitude, and it was all about being present to your thoughts and, more importantly, being present to your feelings. And we started talking about, we gave a little bit of homework, which I must admit I failed to do. And the call was to, for 7 days straight, every morning and every night, just take 30 seconds of being grateful for what you have and to start thinking about what it is that you want as if you already have it. So to be grateful and to, in that gratitude, to start being grateful of those things as if you already possess them. And I got the most amazing texts from people telling me how much their life altered through that. So I'm just going to take one or two shares, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the context of the call. So is anybody that okay, I'm going to open the lines. If you have a lot of noise, please be careful. Press star 6. You might need to press it again. Okay, great. Does anybody want to share what happened last week's call, whether you did or you didn't do it? I would love to hear something about what happened. What did you notice? What did you feel? Anything you want to share. Okay, then I'm going to make somebody a volunteer. Laura, are you on? Laura,
yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. I would love for you to share what happened with you. What did you do and what happened?
Okay, I have been reading through Facebook a lot of motivational stuff. So I got to kind of mix what you told us and some other homework that I got from Facebook. So I have been grateful and sending love to 3 people every night and morning. And I feel myself more confident. I feel like my life is aligning. I have been feeling grateful, like just by sending love to these 3 people that I feel they have hurt me. So it's I was reading, I don't remember if it was you or I was reading it, that it says that when you feel someone hurt you, it's you, not that person. Like when you are resentful to someone, that's your feeling. The other person doesn't even know you feel that way. So I have been doing that. I have been praying. My little girl is praying with me every night, and it's just things are getting better, aligning.
Awesome. So for those of you, I know there was a little bit of noise. So basically, just to resum what she did, every night and every morning she sent out love to 3 people. And one of the things that she really got present to is that when you have resentment or feeling bad, or you feel, whatever kind of negative feeling towards somebody else, or with somebody, it's not that other person. 99% of the time, it's just you dealing with yourself, because many times that other person doesn't even know you have that hatred or that resentment towards them. So to be able to shift that from being grateful and sending a bunch of love out, she noticed a bunch of her life is starting to align. So thank you for that. I know there was a little bit of noise in the background for those of you who weren't able to hear that. So thank you. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I'll share.
Somebody who's moving, okay, 1 second. Somebody who's moving around a lot, please press star 6 because we can kind of hear your noise. Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead.
This is Karla.
Hi, Karla.
Hi. So for me, I have to admit, I haven't been doing the 30 minutes before you wake up or 30 seconds before you wake up, but in general throughout the day, I'm just always very aware of like how I'm talking, how I'm speaking, and like the thoughts in my mind. And I just really saw like, wow, no wonder I'm feeling so down and like so upset about stuff, because everything is just, all I'm feeding is like a sad life. Like I'm just creating like a, like a circle of like sadness. So just being aware, like every time I would see that, I would just start saying things that I'm grateful for. So like I just had a little girl, and I just kept saying, I'm grateful for my baby. I'm grateful that I have a house to live in. I'm grateful that I have a tree to put up. Even if it's just like the smallest things, like it just, makes me just be grateful for everything, even the smallest things. So I just started saying like, which led to me like starting writing down like the life I want to create, which is another assignment we had. And I just really felt like, oh, okay. I just started feeling so much better, like creating my life as opposed to just like damaging it with my words every day. So
awesome. And I'm gonna thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna steal that idea because last week, and there's no excuses, right? All excuses are equal. But last week, literally, I had an event to go to every single day, Tuesday through Saturday. And so most of the time I got home between 12 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And so honestly, I didn't think about doing my assignment, right? But I love what you just said is that even though I didn't do it at night before going to bed for those 7 days straight, I could do it throughout the day. So I love that idea. And that's just, again, from the first call series, it was all about being self-aware. So that's so awesome to hear, Karla, because the moment, this is for everybody on the line, the moment you start feeling kind of yucky, if you just stop for one split second, because literally you can change your state of mind within like a snap of a finger. If you start feeling yucky and all of a sudden you just get present, like, okay, what's going on here? And don't overanalyze it. Just acknowledge it. Be like, and sometimes now I've gotten to the point where I start laughing. Like, really, Sandoval? I like talk to myself, right? Like, really, Sandoval? Is that really necessary? Is it really that bad? And then I just start kind of giggling, and then boom, I put another thought in place. Because the positive, and that's what we're going to talk about today, the positive affirmation will always, always outbeat anything negative. For those of you who have watched the movie The Secret, it's all about that. You can definitely have a negative thought, and it has a certain vibration, and it has a certain way of calling that thought into existence. But a positive affirmation from love, gratitude, all those, they will always outwin, like the angel will always outbeat the devil, basically, okay? So awesome. Anybody else want to share?
I would like to share.
Yes, who's this?
Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi. Okay, I actually failed to do the assignment. I wasn't being grateful, and I wasn't giving thanks, and I actually had a really bad week, or a tough week. And this morning, I'm just now realizing that that I should have, if I would have been giving thanks, that it probably would have changed my week completely. So now, I'm excited to start this new week, totally different from how I was doing it last week.
Awesome. And thank you for acknowledging the fact that you didn't do it, and you're not, like, beating yourself over it. Like, okay, I didn't do it. Let's move on, okay? And how can we make this week better? Awesome. Anybody else? Going once? All right. Okay, so I'm going to mute the line. 1 second. All right, you guys, great. So you don't have to do anything to your phone anymore. I've completely muted the phones, the lines, I'm sorry. All right, you guys, so thank you, everybody, for sharing, because really it's through those shares that we can always take those little tips and apply them to ourselves. So, okay, so let's go ahead and start on today's call, and today's call is all about, it's pretty much a little bit of the same, because it always is being self-aware of what you're asking for. But today is more about having affirmations. And so before we get started, I'm just going to recap really fast, just get present to this again, that, the universe really is here. And, it's so funny. I got to tell you guys this. It started last week. After I got off the call, I really got off the call last week, really inspired. And I also had an aha moment when I was sharing with you guys, and that is that the universe is here to give you everything you want, everything. And I remember as I was telling you guys that, and I'm giving you guys highlights from this book. These are like not my own thoughts, right? These are like, science has been able to prove that your thoughts do out a certain vibration. But more importantly, you guys, and this is something I learned this last week, that your whole body is a magnet. So it's a, how do you say it in English? Hold on a second. But anyway, it's constantly sending out vibration. It's constantly sending out signals, signs, okay? Electrical, magnetic signs. There you go. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because sometimes, I'll just tell you me. I got off this call last week, and I was like thinking, I know that conceptually I understand that the universe is here to give me everything I want. And then I can't help to like immediately get a little sarcastic and be like, yeah, well, that's the case. Why don't I have everything I want then, right? And, I'm sure I'm not the only one on the line who's thinking this. Like when you hear like the world, the universe will always give you what you want every time, no exception. And I'm thinking, well, I've been asking for X, Y, Z for the last X, Y years. Why don't I have it? right? And I have been asking, I've been conscious of my thoughts, and I've been conscious of my feelings. If you notice my tone of voice, it really might even convince you, right? And I got off the call, and actually my coach was here from Florida, and I was cracking up. She's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm like, because conceptually, like mentally, I understand that. But I also understand that there's something that's not occurring, therefore I don't have it. And here's the reason why. If you have not received, and I went back to the book, and I'm like, her and I were actually talking. She's like a phenomenal person that's been in this field of not only psychology and life coaching, and I mean, she's just like a one-stop shop person, right? And she was sharing with me, she's like, and the book says it all the time, that if you're not receiving what you want, it is only because you have been staying at a vibration, you have a vibrational pattern that's not in alignment with the vibration of your desires. So I'm going to say that again. If you don't have what you want, if we don't have what we want, it is because we have been staying at a vibrational pattern that does not align, that is not consistent, that is not in match, that's not matching the vibration of your desires. So your desires are submitting an X vibration, but your patterns for the last, in my case, 35 years, which, by the way, my birthday's coming up, y'all. Anyway, but my vibrations for the last 35 years, or maybe the last 5 years or 10 years, that desire, my desires for that, my vibration for that desires could be like, let's just say if it was a radio station, let's say I want to desire a Bentley, a white Bentley, right? I saw this white Bentley in Beverly Hills the other day. It was beautiful. So let's say the vibration for that white Bentley is at the radio station 101.1. But my pattern, my vibrational patterns for the last X amount of years that I've been, let's say the last 15 years that I've actually been out in the workforce, my vibration patterns are not at a 101.1. My vibrational patterns, I have been at a like 89.9 or a 106.5, right? So I cannot turn the radio. See, this is how, if you think about it, this makes sense for life, but for some reason we don't think it makes sense for us. Like if you go to your radio and you put it on 106.5, you're going to be expecting to hear the music that gets played on 106.5. You would think it's crazy if someone comes in and goes, hey, but, on 101.1 they're playing, I don't know, whatever song, right? And why is it not, how come it's not coming out of your radio? And you're going to say, duh, because my radio is not on 101.1, it's on 106.5. Therefore, it cannot pull out of my speakers a song that's been played in any other station except for 106.5. So if you think about that, if the white Bentley is on the vibration of 106.5, but I'm not there, I won't be able to get it. Even though I can desire it, I can dream it, I can put it on my whiteboard, on my dream board, all that stuff. So one of the things that we are going to be talking about this week is how do we start getting closer to that radio station that is playing, that has a vibration of and playing the music that we want for our life, in this case, our desires, okay? And here's the thing we got to start doing. You got to, number one, you got to stop and you got to think about it, or even more importantly, you got to stop and feel and identify the disconnection that you have inside of you, okay? So, for example, let's just say that, again, I'm going to talk about this like white Bentley, right? So I got to stop and, when I see that Bentley, I'm like, oh my God, I want that car. And even though mentally I know that I can have anything I put my mind to, I know I can buy anything that I work for hard enough for. I know that with Herbalife, you can literally, sky's the limit, right? You can literally manifest as much income. I know all this, and knowing is a great start, right? But then here's the thing, then all of a sudden I stop and I look at the car, right? And I stop and I get present to my thoughts, and more importantly, I get present to my feelings. I can really start paying attention, like what's going on in my interior, like inside of me. And perhaps for a split second, I could be like, well, that's a lot of work. or that's a beautiful car, but dang, how many years is that going to take? That's a beautiful car. And then I stop, and I could be thinking like, let me think. I'm like totally getting naked in my thoughts here with you guys. I'd probably be thinking, well, it's going to look really ridiculous in the parking lot of my apartment. You see, so like all of a sudden, if you really stop and you get present, like anytime you desire anything, you stop and get present of your thoughts and more importantly, your feelings, you're going to start acknowledging and recognizing how much of a disconnection you have between the vibration of your desires and your internal vibrations about that desire. So again, it's like I have it on 106.5, looking at that car, but then my radio, I turn it to like 101.1. Well, that sure would be a lot of work, and dang, how much are the payments of that car? And all these negative or bad thoughts start coming inside, okay? So here's what we want to do. How do you start letting go of those thoughts? And how do you start aligning yourself with the vibration of those things that you really desire? Like, how do you get closer to that 106.5 radio station, right? So here's what we got to do. You have to do, what we got to do is start letting go, start liberating softly, gently, and progressively, little by little, this resistance, these resisting thoughts. And don't beat yourself up. When you notice, like let's say if I see this Bentley and I think, dang, that's a lot of work. And then I'm like, gosh, Karla, why you always get that? And then I start beating myself up. No, that's like not going to serve you, right? What I got to do is acknowledge it and then just be like, okay, and then just let it go and start liberating those thoughts softly and gently and progressively, like little by little, just let it go. Start letting go of this resistance and these resisting thoughts, okay, which honestly, that's like the only way for you to start, like you acknowledge it and just let it go. Because remember, what you resist persists. So the more you like get angry about it and get more upset about it, it's not going to serve you, okay? So you get present, you just let it go, okay, you know what? No. You know what? I can totally have that car. If I work hard enough, I will have that car. And then you start, oh my gosh, how is it going to feel with the top down? And then you start bringing in another vibration. And at first, you guys, it's going to feel phony. Okay, at first, it's going to feel fake. And you might even laugh at yourself, but you've got to start practicing because it's not going to go away overnight. For you to think that all these thoughts that you have been having, for all this resistance, all these negative thoughts that you have been having for many years, or all this, oh my God, a Bentley just drove by my window. Haha, very funny, universe. Anyway, all these thoughts that you've been having, oh, by the way, if you start paying attention, the universe will always speak to you. Always. Totally off side note. But anyway, if you start having presence to all these thoughts that all this resistance, and you start letting it go, and you start letting it go, and you start letting it go, you will notice that it will get easier and easier. Because I'm not going to sit here and think that if I've been having this negative thoughts or this resistance for the last 10 years, being aware of it for one day is going to completely cure or erase 15 years of programming in your brain. If you're thinking that, well, I don't know what to tell you because that's not the way it works. Okay, you're not going to all of a sudden not had 1 mile of run under your belt and then go and run the marathon. That's just not the way life works. Okay, if it were that easy, everybody would have what they desire. But it is those people that are willing to put those disciplines in every single day, slowly, and you being gentle with yourself. Like don't beat yourself up over it. Just acknowledge it, let it go, and replace it. So acknowledge it, let it go, and replace it. Okay, so here's the thing we want to start. The moment you do that, now you're going to replace it with an affirmation. Whatever comes to your mind. And again, at first it's going to feel phony, but you got to keep practicing, and then it's going to feel real. And then you're going to start feeling it within your core and your heart, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but not only has science been able to prove that your thoughts and your brain, your mind sends out a certain vibration, but science has also been able to prove that your heart chakra, your fourth chakra, for those of you who know what that is, like right in the center of your chest, your heart also has a huge vibration. It sends out there's a huge magnetic field all around you coming from your heart chakra, okay? So yes, by the way, chakras are the 7 energy points in your body, okay? And the fourth one is your heart. And they have been able to prove that every single chakra sends out certain vibrations, but the vibration of your heart is one of the most powerful ones in your body. So this is why when, like, Laura was talking about that she was sending love out, why things started to change, people can definitely feel. That's why, like, you see a baby, right, and the baby doesn't even know you, but if you've got, like, a yucky heart, the baby will, like, start crying, okay? But if you have somebody who's, like, you know, the babies always know because they feel that energy. They're not sitting there analyzing the person. They only feel what they feel. And human beings, we have that capacity, even though we're not babies, and now we can talk and think and all that other stuff, right? So anyway, so you want to start, you want to acknowledge, let it go, and replace it with an affirmation. Whatever your heart desires, put it in there, okay? And here's the thing you want to get, is that the alignment that you will get will be the moment you start doing this, you will start having indicators that will start telling you that you're on the right path. Okay, things will start like this, like right now, like the Bentley driving by, right? You'll start becoming more aware. You'll start acknowledging little things will start happening. If you're present and you are aware and you're like awake and you're mindful, you will start noticing that as you start letting go of that resistance, things will start aligning themselves. People will start, maybe like in our business, right? If you're talking about your Herbalife business and you're wanting to have this, your desire is to get to the next level, or maybe to get 10 clients this month, and you're like, well, I don't have 10 clients. Well, it's the holidays. No, hold on. Let go of those negative thoughts. Let go of that resistance, and put something. You're like, are you kidding me? People, what better gift than for them to give the health to themselves? And you start putting in an affirmation. You know what? Are you kidding me? What better gift than to give a loved one a gift of nutrition? And you start replacing them with positive affirmations. And then you'll start noticing maybe an old client will call you, or maybe like somebody will call you off one of your business cards, or somebody will email you or Facebook you about something that they saw online. See, those little things, you got to start, like that. When that happens, although they may not have purchased a product, but those little things happening, you need to celebrate them and say, all right, cool, my affirmation's on its way. Things are starting to happen because you let go of the resistance and you replace it with something positive, the universe will respond. Now, if you notice that your anger, you feeling like the tension, anxiety, or like just all those negative emotions, if you start feeling those feelings, then you need to know that the resistance is only increasing. So when little positive things are happening, like that email or whatever, then that means that the affirmation is causing that resistance to like let go. The resistance is diminishing. But if you get angry and you have all these negative thoughts, how come everybody else and not me, and you have all this blah, blah, blah talk in your head, you will notice all these negative feelings. The moment you notice those negative feelings, you need to know that the resistance, that negative stuff, that unalignment of your thoughts and your desires, that's causing the resistance to increase. So I just want you guys to get present to this for this week, that all thoughts, and we're going to conclude this call in a minute, all thoughts vibrate. And all thoughts submit a signal. And all thoughts attract that same signal into its existence. I'm going to say that again. All thoughts vibrate. All thoughts submit a signal. And all thoughts attract that signal into its existence. So you got to understand that that corresponds with that vibration. What is corresponding with that vibration is what we know as the law of attraction. How it says that what you think about, you bring about. And I would like to even add something there. It's like what you think about and what you feel about, you bring about. Because you could think, I want that Bentley, but the feelings inside could be like, yeah, right. Okay, so you got to understand that all of that is all together. So for this week, you guys, keep in mind all this, all the resistance that you're putting in or that you're having present. Let it go and replace it by being mindful. Okay, and start finding ways to stay consistent in that harmony of vibration of your desires, whatever that may be, whether it may be music, being more around fit camps, being around the STSs, being around the HOMs, whatever it is, because you're going to have to acknowledge the fact that it's not going to go away overnight, that you're going to have a little bit of like give and take, But if as long as you continue to pay attention to all that stuff, you'll start letting it go, and you'll start replacing it with an affirmation. So this week, for those of us who didn't do the homework consistently last week, I really encourage all of us to be grateful. And I love what Karla said. Maybe you didn't do it before you went to bed, but if you didn't, maybe the next morning, do it, and then do it throughout the day. Actually, we should do it throughout the day anyway, anytime you feel yucky, right? But for sure, let's go ahead and start on that homework for those of us who didn't do it all 7 days. And in addition to that is this week, you want to start getting present to what it is that you want. And one of the things that I'm going to encourage every one of you guys to do, which is going to feel a little silly, for those of you who do it, you'll get a huge response from this, and that is every day I think you brush your teeth, okay? So while you're brushing your teeth, okay, close the bathroom door, and as you're brushing your teeth, look at yourself in the mirror and look deep inside your own eyes. Like, just look at yourself, like not your face, look at your eyes. And while you're doing, this is called mirror work, okay? So while you're looking in your eyes, I want you to start putting in place all your affirmations. You might want to start with just being grateful for the little things that you have, being grateful for the big things you have, like a house and a car and warm blankets in this weather, right? Being grateful that your family's okay. I don't even know how many people passed away in the storm. So just be grateful. And then in that moment of gratitude where you're feeling that vibration of just complete, happiness, start bringing in the affirmations of what you want. And you might even start by what your day's going to look like. You want to be grateful for everything, and then start creating some affirmations. And affirmations, by the way, you guys, are just by you declaring what it is that you want and saying it over and over again. And you start talking about what it is. Maybe start by today's going to be a very productive day. I'm going to be loving, understanding, whatever it is that you want to say, right? And do it looking at yourself in the eye. And I would love to hear next week, or if you guys want to text me what you guys have been feeling for throughout the week. But please, this everybody should be able to do, because I think everybody brushes their teeth every day. And if you can do it in the morning, and I'm not even better, but for sure, do it in the morning. And watch how you're declaring how your day's going to go. So you're not leaving it up to chance. You're not leaving it up to destiny, right? You're not leaving it up to your neighbor. You're literally going to say, today's going to be X, Y, Z, and I am who I'm going to be, and who I am is, productive, whatever. So for example, today for me, I have so much stuff to do. So today who I am is productive, responsive, organized, and what else did I put on my board? I forgot. I put 4 things on my whiteboard last night, okay? So you want to say it to yourself over and over again while you're looking at yourself in the eyes while you're brushing your teeth. So that's the homework for this week, is to get present to the negative thoughts, let them go, replace them with some affirmations, and then for sure do it while you're brushing your teeth, looking at yourself in the mirror directly into your eyes. So I'm going to end the call. I'm going to end the recording, but I'm going to